All right, let's dive right into this explainer and look at how we can gain ultimate mental clarity. How? By mastering literally the single most powerful tool we possess in the known universe, the human brain. Today, we're unpacking the core concepts from Darius Foroux's Think Straight, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. It's a fascinating, highly practical guide to taking back the driver's seat of your own mind.
So let me ask you, have you ever felt completely trapped inside your own head? We've all experienced that paralyzing feeling of an overwhelmed mind. You know the exact feeling. You're lying in bed at night, constantly overthinking, worrying about the future, analyzing the past, making bad assumptions that lead absolutely nowhere. We just kind of assume that because we have a brain, we naturally know how to use it. But as we'll see today, clear thinking requires actual training.
The author, Darius Foroux, experienced this mental chaos firsthand during a frantic, panic-filled moving day in London. Picture this. He had an SUV totally full of his belongings. His family had driven all the way from Holland to help, and at the very last minute, his new landlady canceled the lease. Suddenly, he's sitting in a hotel room with nowhere to live, completely drowning in a messy scribble of stress, panic, and self-blame.
To untangle a mess like that, our roadmap for today covers 6 structured steps. First, from chaos to clarity. Second, you control your thoughts. Third, filter out useless thoughts. Fourth, facts over assumptions. Fifth, breaking the learning wall. And finally, practical rules for clarity.
Starting with Section 1, from chaos to clarity. Let's see how we can begin shifting our mental baseline away from that tangled knot of anxiety.
Instead of drowning in a mush of useless thoughts like worry and stress, the goal is to extract one single, straight thought that actually serves a useful purpose. In the case of the author's London housing disaster, blaming himself was completely useless. He had to replace the chaos with a single straight line, finding a solution. And once he cleared the mental clutter, the solution was actually easy. He simply booked an Airbnb for a week until the situation resolved itself. We really have to stop letting our minds run out of control over first-world problems.
Moving to Section 2, you control your thoughts. To actually pull that straight line out of the chaos, we need a bit of a philosophical breakthrough about how much control we actually have. Back in 1870, a young doctor named William James was going through a severe crisis of meaning, battling deep depression and panic attacks. He cured himself with this exact realization: my first act of free will shall be to believe in free will. He realized that while we can't stop thoughts from appearing in our consciousness, we absolutely 100% control which ones we choose to focus on. This breakthrough formed the foundation of pragmatism, a practical philosophy that James helped found. Pragmatism demands that our thoughts serve a useful purpose, otherwise they're entirely useless. The ultimate filter is simple. True is what works. If a thought doesn't help you solve a problem or understand useful knowledge, it's just taking up valuable real estate in your head. All right, Section 3, filter out useless thoughts. Let's dive into how we actually apply this pragmatic filter to our daily lives and start clearing out the noise.
We constantly plague ourselves with thoughts like, what if I fail? Or people are going to think I'm a loser? Or what if I lose my job? We let these little thought clouds float around our heads, darkening our mood and dictating our actions. We spend hours, particularly late at night, staring at the ceiling, letting these completely fictional scenarios multiply.
Now, I want you to ask yourself, right now, what is the actual practical use of those thoughts? Let's really think about it. Still waiting for an answer? Yeah, exactly. There is none. Worrying about what your boss thinks of you doesn't improve your work. Freaking out over whether you'll fail doesn't increase your chances of success. They are practically useless. To fix this, you can instantly eliminate 99% of your useless thoughts just by ignoring everything outside your direct control. The past, outside your control. The unpredictable future, outside your control. Other people's opinions, totally outside your control. What is inside that tiny center circle of control? Just your desires, your actions, your words, and your intentions. Focus only on that inner circle.
Section 4, facts over assumptions.
To think straight, we have to confront a really uncomfortable reality. Our brains constantly lie to us. We are riddled with over 100 known cognitive biases. One of the most famous is confirmation bias, meaning we often see the world subjectively rather than logically. We naturally look for clues to back up our existing beliefs so we can prove we aren't wrong. Because our minds rely so heavily on these mental shortcuts, our own gut feelings can frequently lead us astray.
So the crucial point is this:
To make better informed decisions, you've got to aggressively separate useless assumptions and opinions from tested, concrete facts. Don't assume a client will sign. Look at the facts. Don't assume your boss will give you a raise. Evaluate the concrete data of your performance. Never waste your precious thought energy on other people's ill-informed opinions and guesses. Cling to facts and concreteness.
On to Section 5, breaking the learning wall. As you start training your mind, filtering your thoughts, and taking in new knowledge, you are inevitably going to face some resistance.
When you really start pushing your brain, whether you're reading, analyzing, building a business, or writing a book, you might suddenly experience a mental breakdown or a feeling of being totally blocked. The author describes getting massive headaches after weeks of intense reading and writing. But hitting a learning wall like this doesn't mean you're failing, it just means you're reaching a new stage of development. When this block happens, whatever you do, don't try to actively think your way out of it. You literally can't force it. Step away, relax your mind, go hang out with friends, listen to music, and let your subconscious connect the dots in the background. Your brain works in networks, and sometimes it just needs a break to process the new data before you can smash through that wall with renewed energy.
Finally, Section 6, Practical Rules for Clarity. Let's build a practical toolkit you can use every single day to maintain this new mental clarity. First off, slow down your thinking. We live in a world that demands instant responses, but it's incredibly powerful to just say, you know what, I don't know, let me get back to you. Resist impulsive answers. Take an extra day for commitment so you don't overbook your future self. And I absolutely love this next one. Abandon conventional, binary pros and cons lists. They just force you into a box. Instead, think abundantly. Try to find creative alternatives where you can choose this and that, like keeping your day job while starting a business on the side.
You can also apply rigid rules to specific anxieties to free up brain space. Take the author's simple money rules, for instance. Don't buy things you don't need, save 10% of your income, stay out of debt, invest in things with a return, and don't be stingy. By following straightforward rules like these, you automate your financial decisions. You stop the overthinking and free up incredibly valuable mental real estate for things that actually matter.
Remember, the ultimate pragmatic filter for everything that enters your brain is just asking, does this work? Does this thought positively impact your habits? Does this decision improve your daily life? If it doesn't work for you, just discard it. You are the filter. We've seen how to go from chaos to clarity, how to filter out the noise, and how to rely on facts over assumptions. So the only question left to ask yourself is this: will you continue to let your mind run wild and control you? Or will you finally step up, take the wheel, and use your mind as the incredible tool it was meant to be? The choice, as William James realized, is entirely yours.